Have you ever opened your eyes, stared at the ceiling, and felt that weight in your chest before you even move? The room is quiet, your phone is glowing, and somehow it feels like the day has already defeated you. No desire to get up, no reason to try, just a slow, empty ache where your purpose used to live. If that's you, stay with me. Viktor Frankl spent his life studying this exact feeling, and he found a way through. Let's start with a truth you can feel but maybe haven't named. Anxiety is not always fear of something specific. Sometimes it's the pull of the empty, the blank page of your life glaring at you in the morning. Frankl called this the existential vacuum, that hollow space where meaning should be, not drama, not chaos, just the numbness of not knowing what for. So when your mind whispers, "What's the point?" Frankl answers, the point is not out there waiting to be handed to you. The point is created, discovered, and served by you. And here's the first reframe that changes everything. The question is not, what can I get from life today? It's, what is life asking of me today? Before we unpack how to answer that, I want you to picture a dim hallway, doors on either side. Anxiety stands at the entrance and tells you there's nowhere to go. Frankl quietly points to 3 doors: creation, experience, and attitude. These are the 3 ways meaning emerges. You can create a work or a deed. You can encounter someone or something with love. And when suffering is unavoidable, you can choose your stance with courage. 3 doors, 1 hallway. You don't need all 3 every day. You only need 1. Let's start with creation. Not make a masterpiece creation. Not start a company today creation. Creation like this, 1 honest task, given with your full attention, for someone besides you. Fold the laundry for your future self. Write an email that removes confusion for a coworker. Cook a simple breakfast and plate it well for the person you love. When your morning feels pointless, give yourself a point, not a grand plan, a small service. Meaning grows when you put your hands to a task that matters to someone. Now, the second door, experience. This is not the consumer scroll. This is the quiet act of receiving the world as if it's speaking to you. The way the light hits the mug, the rhythm of your breathing, the sound of a neighbor's laughter through a wall. Frankl watched men in the darkest places alive pause to watch the sun rise and whisper how beautiful the world could be. The experience of deep presence is not luxury, it's medicine. If the day feels empty, fill it first with a moment that lets reality break in. Stand at the window. Let the morning air touch your face. A minute of honest seeing can rethread your heart back to the world. And then there's the third door, attitude. Sometimes the pain is there. The loss is real. The fear has a name. You can't avoid it, and you didn't choose it. In those moments, meaning doesn't come from fixing. It comes from defiance. Frankl called it the last of human freedoms, choosing your attitude in any given set of circumstances. That does not mean pretending you're okay. It means deciding who you will be inside the storm, gentle or harsh, brave or bitter, open or closed. You don't control the weather, you control the sailor. If you're thinking, great, but I still can't get out of bed, listen. Frankl noticed something vital about the mind when it's trapped in cycles. The harder we try to stop a feeling, the deeper it digs in. He called it hyper-intention and hyper-reflection. You try to force sleep, sleep runs. You watch your anxiety, anxiety performs for you. The more you hunt your symptoms, the more they hide and hiss. That's why your first move in the morning cannot be to crush anxiety. Your first move is to gently shift your gaze toward meaning. So here's the practical path for those first 10 minutes. Before your feet hit the floor, ask one clarifying question. What small task today would make me proud tonight? Don't overthink it. One thing. Send the apology. Review the class notes. Walk for 10 minutes. Text your friend to check in. Then ask the second question. Who benefits if I do this? See their face. Picture their relief. Put a name to your effort. Meaning beats anxiety when love becomes concrete. Now, get up slowly. Touch the floor with your feet like you're arriving, not escaping. Make your bed, but do it as a signal, not a chore. You are shaping the first 5 minutes into an act of creation. Then, find a window, even if it's dark, even if it's raining. One deep breath picked up in the presence of the world you're part of. Whisper, today I answer. Not because you feel like it, because life asked. You might say, that's nice for a good day. But what about the days when I'm drowning? Let's go there. Frankl became an expert not because he read about suffering, but because he survived it. The camps taught him something simple and terrible and beautiful. You can take almost everything from a person, but not their ability to decide the meaning of their response. When he found himself crushed by hunger, cold, and grief, he practiced an inner movement anyone can learn. If I cannot change my situation, I will aim to be the kind of person worthy of this pain. In other words, if suffering is here, let it not be for nothing. Let it make me truer, deeper, more compassionate, more responsible. You don't have to suffer for meaning, but when suffering arrives, it can be redeemed. Here's a habit that sounds strange, but works. When a symptom scares you like a racing heart, trembling hands, or the fear of failing a presentation, try paradoxical intention. Instead of fighting the panic, turn toward it with a little humor and say, all right, anxiety, let's see what you've got. Try to exaggerate it, intentionally tremble, intentionally speak with a wobble. It sounds ridiculous, but it breaks fear's loop. You are choosing your stance. You are not a hunted animal. You are a person who can play with your own fears. And when fear becomes something you can play with, it gets smaller, fast. Another core move, responsibility, not as punishment, as power. Frankl taught that meaning blooms where responsibility is accepted. Ask yourself, what is the tiny piece of the world I am responsible for today? Maybe it's your body for 20 minutes. Maybe it's your inbox for 20 emails. Maybe it's your child's bedtime story, read with patience instead of impatience. Responsibility is not a burden when it's chosen. It's a bridge back to purpose. Let's talk about the future, because anxiety loves to live there. The future is a hypnotist. It swings a heavy pendulum and holds your eyes wide open. You watch it and forget to breathe. Frankl's answer isn't to ignore the future, it's to put a horizon on it. What does that mean? Instead of trying to solve the next 5 years, ask what 1 week of faithful action would look like. A week is long enough to matter, short enough to see. Then attach your actions to values, not outcomes. If your value is learning, your week might be 30 minutes of study each morning. If your value is service, your week might be 1 favor per day for someone who won't pay you back. If your value is beauty, your week might be 1 photo of something that makes your heart ache in a good way. The horizon shrinks, panic. There's another enemy hiding under anxiety, comparison. The world tells you meaning is money, status, or a life that looks good in a square. Frankl would smile gently and disagree. Meaning is not a scoreboard. Meaning is a relationship between your freedom and your conscience. You are not asked to be impressive. You are asked to be responsible to the tasks and people that are yours right now. I want you to try this today. Choose a meaningful microtask. Name a person you love, and craft a sentence that could carry you through the next hard moment, Frankl style. Something like, in spite of this fear, I will be kind. Or, in spite of this heaviness, I will finish the next page. Or, in spite of the emptiness, I will make one beautiful thing. Keep it short, keep it brave, keep it true. You might wonder, but what if nothing changes? What if I still feel empty? Here's the secret we don't like to admit. The feeling of meaning often shows up late. It's shy. It waits to see if you'll act. You don't start the day with meaning. You build it into the day. And once you've built a few days, meaning starts to show up in the morning, like a loyal friend who knows you'll be there too. Frankl loved the idea that we are beings who point beyond ourselves. He called it self-transcendence. You come alive when your attention escapes the prison of me and reaches toward a you, a task, a cause, a God, a good. Anxiety shrinks the world. Meaning stretches it. One practical way to practice this: pick one person in your life whose burden you can lighten today. You don't have to solve their life. Send them a useful article. Leave a voice note that says, "I'm with you." Drop off coffee. Ask, what is hardest for you this week? Then listen. That single act of self-transcendence pulls you out from under your own thoughts. Let's touch something tender. Grief. Maybe your mornings are heavy because someone is missing or something is gone that can't return. Frankl would not rush you past that. He would stand with you in the silence, but he would also invite you to live in a way that honors what you lost. That person, that dream, they're part of your story. Let your choices be a continuation, a tribute. If you lost a parent who worked hard for your education, study as a thank you. If you lost a friend who made others feel seen, become a person who sees others. Love can outlive the ones it loved by becoming your way of life. I want to share a small picture of morning meaning, the kind that doesn't make headlines. Imagine a nurse finishing a night shift, exhausted, walking home as the sky turns grey-blue. She's not changing the world in a slogan sense, but she's carried pain with dignity for 8 hours. She's comforted strangers at 3 a.m. She gets home and makes tea. She writes 3 lines in a journal. Today I held a hand. Today I chose patience. Today I want to rest and then call my brother. That's meaning. Quiet, specific, real. The emptiness doesn't stand a chance when faced with a life that quietly answers. If you wrestle with insomnia, Frankl offers 2 tools. First, stop trying to sleep. Paradoxical intention again. Read something boring with a dim light. Tell yourself, I'll just rest quietly and enjoy the quiet. The pressure pops and sleep often slips in. Second, give your night a purpose. If you're awake at 2 a.m., pick a small blessing to prepare for morning. Lay out clothes for tomorrow. Write a kind note to yourself. Meaning disarms the mind's obsession with control. Here's a recentering exercise when anxiety spikes at your desk or on your commute. Close your eyes for 10 seconds if it's safe. Ask, what is life asking of me in the next 10 minutes? Then, what is the most loving way to do it? The answer might be, send this email with clarity. Drive with patience. Breathe through this meeting and contribute one thoughtful idea. Purpose shrinks panic because purpose gives direction. There's a sentence that helped Frankl survive. He who has a why can bear almost any how. Find your why and your how becomes bearable. But how do you find it when you feel empty? Start where you are. Look at what breaks your heart and what lights you up. The world is quietly asking you to stand where those to meet. Your heartbreak might be loneliness, wasted potential, or cruelty. Your joy might be teaching, organizing, cooking, building, listening. The intersection is where you'll find tasks that give you energy instead of draining it. Begin there, even if it's clumsy. One more paradox. The more you chase happiness, the less you find it. Frankl noticed that happiness occurs as a byproduct of living meaningfully. So stop checking if you're happy today. Check if you're faithful to something meaningful today. Are you aligned with your values? Are you answering life's questions with responsibility? Happiness follows like a shadow when you face the light. If you've been waiting for permission to live like this, here it is. You don't need the feeling to start. You need the choice. And the choice is small enough to make right now. Quick pause. What is one small, meaningful task you'll choose for tomorrow morning, and who benefits from it? Tell me in the comments. And if this helped you breathe easier, subscribe so we can keep building meaning together, one honest day at a time. Let's get practical with a ritual you can keep. Call it the Frankl 5. It's 5 minutes, 5 moves, right after you wake up. 1. Sit up and place your feet on the floor. Whisper, "I answer." 2. Name one person you love and one way you'll show it today. 3. Write one sentence about what life is asking of you today only. 4. Choose one micro-task and schedule it in the first 90 minutes. 5. Step to a window, breathe slowly 5 times, and allow yourself a moment of gratitude for the chance to try again. 5 minutes, 5 moves. Watch what happens to the emptiness when you give your day a spine. What about motivation? It's fragile. Waiting for motivation to act is like waiting for wind to row. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. So embrace the smallest possible step. Tiny steps done with intention teach your brain a new story. I am someone who shows up. Your self-respect grows in those inches, and self-respect is a quiet engine. When fear of the future tightens your chest, borrow a tool from Logotherapy, future tense responsibility. Imagine a version of you 3 months from now, looking back at today. Ask that future self, what will you thank me for doing this week? Usually the answer is simple. Keep the promise. Send the application, make the appointment, go for the walk, have the hard conversation. Live now in a way your future self respects. That respect becomes courage in the present. If your work feels empty, Frankl would not say, "Quit immediately." He'd ask you to try injecting meaning first. Personalize your tasks. Learn the names of the people who benefit. Find the human, not just the metrics. Rewrite your job description in 1 sentence. I create clarity. I reduce chaos. I connect people. I protect safety. I tell the truth. I build trust. Then align 1 action per day with that sentence. If, after weeks of meaningful effort, the job resists meaning, then yes, consider moving. But try meaning first. You might be surprised how a job changes when you bring a why into it. For relationships, here's a gentle nudge. Love is not just feeling. Love is responsibility for another's growth. Each morning, ask, what can I do today that helps this person become more themselves? The answer could be small. Listening without fixing, encouraging a risk they're scared to take, protecting their focus time, cooking a meal they didn't expect. Meaning multiplies in love. Now, a word about shame. The empty morning often carries a quiet accusation. You should be farther along. You should be stronger. Frankl would challenge that voice on your behalf. You are more than your outcomes. You are more than your worst days. You are a being who can choose. That is not motivational fluff. It's a fact with teeth. You can choose again today, and that choice counts. If trauma lives in your body, everything I've said still applies, but slower, gentler, with help. Meaning does not compete with therapy, medicine, or rest. It partners with them. If you need to heal, make meaning out of the healing itself. Make keeping your appointment an act of courage. Make taking your medication an act of protection for your future. Make resting a responsibility to those who love you. Your healing is not selfish. It's a meaningful gift to the people you will help later because you did not quit on yourself now. There's a quiet practice I want you to try this week. At night, before sleep, close your eyes and replay the day as if you're editing a short film. Find one scene where you chose meaning over comfort. Maybe you told the truth when it was easier to nod along. Maybe you took responsibility instead of blaming. Maybe you showed up even though the emptiness tried to keep you in bed. Pause on that moment. Name it. Thank your past self for that choice. You're training your brain to notice meaning. And what you notice grows. What about those who say life has no meaning at all? Frankl would answer, life is not a riddle to solve once. It's a series of questions that you answer with your actions. The meaning of life is not abstract. It's personal, daily, specific. It's how you treat the barista when you're late. It's how you carry your pain without turning it into poison. It's what you build when no one claps. It's the letter you write that only one person will ever read. And strangely, in those small answers, you begin to feel held by something larger than you. Call it love, call it conscience, call it God. The name is less important than the experience of being called. One final image. Imagine your morning again, the ceiling, the weight, the phone. Now imagine the same scene, but you know your first move. You place your feet down, you sit up. You ask, what is life asking of me? You picture one face you love. You name one task that matters. You breathe and whisper, in spite of this, I will answer. That's not grand, that's not dramatic, but it's strong. And strength grows with practice. If today is hard, let it refine you, not define you. If you feel empty, fill the smallest corner of the day with meaning, and watch that corner quietly expand. As Frankl taught us by the way he lived, our freedom is real, and our responsibility is sacred. Choose, even when it's small. Love, even when it's quiet. And over time, morning will stop feeling like a threat. It will feel like an invitation. When you wake up tomorrow, remember, you don't need to feel ready. You only need to be willing. Answer life's question for one honest hour. Let that hour teach you who you are becoming. And slowly, steadily, the emptiness will have nowhere left to live.